So you know how this goes. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
I asked ChatGPT to rank the episodes of Black Mirror based on their likelihood to occur given the current trajectory of society and technology. Here are the top 3. Number 3 is Archangel. This is the one where the mom basically puts a chip in her daughter because she wants to monitor her activities. In the beginning of the episode, the mom loses her daughter at a park or something, so she's very traumatized. She's like, I'm gonna put this thing in her, never lose her again. But then it just spirals out of control. Like, girl, you don't need to see everything she's seeing. She's a whole preteen at this point. Not here, but in the show. ChatGPT says the themes of surveillance, parental monitoring, and tracking devices are already present in our society. Basically, we'll be doing this tomorrow. And based on the fact that humans don't know when to stop, it's very conceivable that more intrusive methods are on the way. Number 2 is the entire...
I totally agree with that. They started us small by these little trackers on our phone and different things they were doing. But it seems like they keep amping it up and more. And before you know it, it's going to be way out of control with these tracking devices and what they can do and see and how they can pop up on you.
Entire history of you. This is one of my favorite episodes. This is the one where people get those implants that record and allow playback of their memories. And remember, when we say playback, we mean for other people to see as well. Like, why anyone would want this is completely beyond me. I mean, you're basically your own ops at this point. ChatGPT thinks we're very close to this because, again, humans don't know when to quit. And number 1 most likely to occur. Number 1, Ashley 2 episode. And it's saying this based on what's already happened with... I'm just kidding, I didn't say that. Although... Number 1 is actually Nosedive, and that makes sense. I actually hated this episode because I thought it was just too realistic. This is the episode where people rate each other, and that rating determines like your social status and opportunities. This didn't feel like a stretch to me. I could totally see this happening, and so can ChatGPT, apparently. I asked ChatGPT...
Now, the one with the playback, where you could just go, imagine, and I can tell you how they're going to pitch it to us, too. They're going to be like, oh, man, we need this for crime, so if a criminal commits a crime, we just grab his playback of everything he's seen and did for the day and go back and review through it and see where he committed a crime, convict him, and put him in jail. I can tell you how they're going to pitch it to us. And everybody's going to be like, yes, that'll slow crime back a bunch, which it probably will. But the invasion of privacy that we don't understand that's going to come with, scary.
Now the media is telling us that these orbs we see in our sky is one of Elon Musk's satellite trains called Starlink, and this would be over 60 satellites flying through space. But here lately, the people been having questions about this new sky event. Now they say their goal is to make more of these trains, and this will provide internet access to anybody on the planet. But now my people is starting to think, we are starting to use our head. This satellite train have to weigh hundreds of tons. We need to go ask these people, how do they keep these satellites in the sky? Because what goes up always have to come back down. Now my personal opinion, there is no way these satellites is in the sky like this. But that's not even it. Y'all check this out. They say these satellites could travel the whole world in 90 minutes. Somebody gotta make this make sense to me, because the math ain't mathing right now. If you look at these trains, they look like stars. They look like orbs of light. We also have to realize that we are etheric light beings, and we came from the stars. Now just think, what if, just what if, this is your ancestors returning to make contact with you? I hope y'all like the lecture. Love and wholeness.
Do you guys remember this tweet from Donnie back in the day? And everybody has a conspiracy theory as to what Elon is doing at the White House, why he's working so closely with Trump, and why he spent so much money on the election. Well, here's my take. I think Elon is on his little revenge tour. You know what they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right? And I think after Trump put him down publicly, his feelings got hurt, and he's plotting his way to get into the White House. He's in there now, and I think he's going to take the government down with him, along with Donnie. I hope that's not true, but that's my conspiracy theory as to why what he's doing in the White House. What's yours?
I hope that's not true as well. What I do see with this though, wait till the next election. Wait till you see how many billionaires try and do what Elon did in this election. Watch and see how many people step up, be trying to get next to the president, do all kind of different things so they can hold positions like Elon is having right now. Wait till the next election and just pay attention to how things happen. It don't matter who goes in office. Don't pay attention to the candidates. Pay attention to the billionaires around them at the next election.
I'm about to break down the rituals they do every year that we still haven't caught on to yet. The ritual they do every year always start on the winter solstice. Because on the winter solstice, a lot of energy hit the planet. They want to use that energy for what they want to use it for. But since they want to do mass rituals, they need mass energy. Christmas is the first thing they use to gather a bunch of people energy, right? Then you got New Year's a few days after. Even though we know the real New Year's is during spring when the planet finally wakes up. But y'all don't know that. Y'all just go keep celebrating the pagan holidays, not knowing what y'all energy being used for. So right after New Year's, that's when they get their last bit of energy from the people. Now it's time to commence the ritual. Let's go ahead and start from 2020. January 10, 2020, coronavirus outbreak. January 2020, Trump killed the Iraqi leader. January 2020, Kobe Bryant died. And the whole year after that was so up because they had enough energy to basically ruin the whole year. Let's go to the next year, 2021. That's when the Capitol storm and all kind of stuff happened with the Biden administration, all that stuff that happened last year. And the rest of the 2021 was basically Now guess what they about to do this year? They already starting January 11th, the whole flight thing grounded, and Biden say we gonna have another coronavirus outbreak. So congratulations, y'all fed another ritual from celebrating all these fake holidays.
A new report from the Federal Reserve shows American household debt is at an all-time high of $18 trillion. Debt grew by $93 billion at the end of 2024, and half of that increase came from new credit card debt. Now, New York Federal Reserve researchers are partially blaming holiday shopping and high interest rates.
$1.2 trillion, that's up 7% compared to a year ago. So it does show that those credit card balances are going up overall. Some of this is signs of a healthy economy, right? People are out spending money. They feel comfortable buying stuff. Like you said, during the holiday shopping season, that is a time that we typically see people put things on their credit cards, whether it's gifts for other people or gifts for themselves. And part of this is that more people are using cards overall. That's a trend we've seen in the economy over the past few years. But there is this growing debt balance. It's been going up steadily over the past couple of quarters and couple of years. And that is something that we're looking at when you say, how much of those people are falling behind on their payments? What we know is that about typically half of people do pay their credit card balances in full. So if you're doing that, not so much of a concern. What is concerning is people who are getting behind on their payments, especially given the really high interest rates that we're seeing, Diane, right now, about 20%. I talked to Ted a lot at Bank Rate, and we're looking at those rates, and they're not really coming down much. And that's a concern if you are behind, because that interest can add up really quickly when you're looking at your payments every month.
A new report from the Federal Reserve.
Man, they ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till they see this year's debt, credit card debt from the people, with groceries and everything continuing to soar, egg shortages, so egg prices is up, all kind of different things. The recall list forcing you to maybe purchase the expensive thing. Like, the debt from this year is going to be crazy. But then she had the nerve to say that's a sign of a healthy economy. At our expense, us being in debt is the sign of a healthy economy. I don't even like that dynamic, the sound of that dynamic.
Your Shein and Temu orders may not be arriving anytime soon. And that's because the U.S. Postal Service announced a temporary suspension of accepting all packages from the China and Hong Kong Post. Your letters from here are still okay, according to the U.S. Postal Service statement. This came just days after President Donald Trump signed an executive order ending what's called the de minimis exemption. That's a long-standing rule that allowed packages worth less than $800 to enter the U.S. without duties or needing to undergo inspections. The de minimis exemption has been an important part of the business models for Chinese e-commerce sites like Shein and Temu. CNN has reached out to both companies for comment. It's unclear whether the USPS suspension is related to Trump's executive order, but it does appear to be part of the escalating trade tensions between Washington and Beijing.
Antarctica is a really tricky place, and ever since NASA has come out and said that they discovered that, number one, there might be a parallel universe there. What? Yeah, they found that, and they said that time doesn't flow in one direction but backwards. So if I were to drop this, it wouldn't have fell that way. It would have fell this way, up. So that brings me to question, do you age in reverse there, and do the elites already know this? We already know that time as we know it does not flow in one direct line, but more in a conch shell or a circle. It's not linear. It would look more like this, like a Fibonacci sequence, as the girl in one video I watched brought up. The Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the two preceding numbers, like these. You see it with pine cones and what they claim to be like galaxies, tornadic activity. And while I like the Fibonacci sequence, I also like cube theory. Picture time as a cube, okay? It has dimensions. And then the very center where you see the Rubik's would be the bridge. Now, at any given moment in time, you know how you solve a Rubik's Cube? It would take forever, right? Unless you're super smart. So there would be this bridge right here, okay? And at any given moment in time, just like on the movie Cube, it will push out and go around, so that you can still see each other, much like the Fibonacci sequence. Like if you were on a spiral staircase and you place people at each level in different spots, you could still see each other. The same would be possible with a cube. But if they have discovered a different time flow there, have they always known about it? Number one. Number two, do people age backwards? Could this be the secret to the elites?
Welcome back for another one on Don't Believe Me, Read It For Yourself. And don't send me your money, keep it. If you haven't read in the news lately, they say that a meteor is going to come and strike Earth in the year 2032, possibly. This isn't possible because God's word tells us that there's a firmament that's blocking this. There's waters above, waters below, there's a solid dome over. The Hebrew word rakia literally means a solid dome-like structure that's above us. The initial NASA director and SS officer on his tombstone said Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Nothing's going to come in or out unless it's God returning with his holy ones at the very end, or the stars falling from sky. So don't have to worry about that. Anything that comes is going to be from God, so repent and believe. The wages of sin is death. There is a blood atonement required. Jesus paid that blood atonement for you, so long as you have faith in that blood atonement that he paid for you. Don't believe me, read it for yourself.
The rain causing some trouble in Ontario, where a sinkhole forced a major street to shut down. The city says Holt Boulevard is closed near Sultana. The sinkhole covers the whole intersection, and it's about 18 feet deep. Crews were on hand tonight assessing the damage. No word on how long it'll take to make the repairs and reopen Holt. The rain causing some trouble.
Now, is it just me, or are we starting to see a large number of sinkholes pop up out of nowhere all of a sudden, right? Now, what I'm thinking back to as well is we've been also speaking about the underground tunnels, the tunneling that's going on underground currently. Do you think it's causing or possibly causing these sinkholes to happen, pop up because of the underground tunneling? I know, probably said too much.
So I'm posting this because we aren't getting told about recalls anymore. But my app Citizen tells me regularly about recalls. And LG just recalled 500,000 different ovens that have caused 28 house fires and have killed multiple pets. So please go and see if you have one of these ovens. Instead of refunding or exchanging, they're just sending customers who have these ovens stickers to put on their ovens that say, please remember to push the lock button. That's what they're doing. So if you have one of these ovens, you probably want to get it out of your house. Yeah, they've been recalled.
There's really people that still believe in outer space. Do you know what the real outer space is? The outer space that's beyond the ice wall. That's the outer space. There's no such thing as a solar system. The solar system is really the soul system. The sun, because sun means soul. The sun is what's responsible for getting all the souls here on this realm. That's why we are children of the sun. We have a soul, which is where they got the word person from. Per sun. A percentage of the sun. So there's no such thing as outer space with planets just orbiting around the sun. The solar system is your soul system.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system.
Even with all the truth coming out, all the astronauts exposing the truth, exposing that they never even really went to the moon, admitting that they shot the moon landing inside of a studio. People still want to believe what they want to believe, which is fine. But they...
And that's me. I'm still holding on to that belief that it actually took place. I know a lot of people don't, and we differ in that aspect, but I'm just saying that it would take a lot of people to be on the same page, not leak information, keep their mouth shut, to be able to keep this going on that long. And I don't have that much faith in people like that. I don't. I think if it's that many people involved, somebody eventually is going to tell or say something. Maybe not directly, but indirectly, and the person they tell indirectly is still going to say something. So I just don't have that faith that all of them were kept that secret of it actually being shot in the studio for that long. I don't believe it.
They're quick to call something a conspiracy theory, when gravity itself is a conspiracy theory created by Sir Isaac Newton when an apple fell from a tree. An apple. So they came up with this whole gravitational theory to make us believe that gravity is what's holding everything together on this spinning ball of rock. It's even religious people that believe in outer space. When it tells you in your Bible, that God created a firmament and put the sun, the moon, and the stars inside of the firmament. But people don't question nothing. They just quick to believe what was taught to them instead of doing research for themselves. Come on now, just think.
What's the real meaning behind the letter G? Today, there's no symbol more readily identifiable and strongly associated with Freemasonry than the letter G. The G stands for geometry, which is a branch of mathematics, a science, and an art. And in ancient times, geometry was a synonym for masonry. G also reminds us of God, that great geometrician, the great architect of the universe, who brought light and form to the universe. The letter G is always suspended above the worshipful master's head in the east, and it serves as a reminder that God watches over us and guides us as we strive to live a life of integrity. The letter G between the square and compasses is really a North American tradition. Its origins can be traced back to Europe, but its usage in North America began to appear in 1730 to 1760, with Paul Revere being a driving force for its use. There are many jurisdictions that don't use the G. Some Masons like myself leave it out just to give it a little bit more of a modern look. But every Mason knows what lies beneath those squares and compasses and how important that letter really is. So mote it be.
So now that we know where this is, more than likely we have the coordinates. Nobody went out and checked this out and verified. Make sure it ain't one of Elon's Starlinks that fell out the sky. I seen somebody ask the other day, could one of those satellites start a fire? I was like, wow. Wow, somebody actually asked that, and I know exactly what they're alluding to.
Franco was exploring Alina's cemetery when this was captured.
Finally, a graveyard that they don't lock and has a creepy story to it. That's my rental. Hopefully I don't have any company while being over here. I'm gonna go ahead and use my GoPro night vision. Look on the inside. Is that something or what? There's 2 other caskets back there, but I'm not going to go in there. These doors are locked. This is the inside, which I'm kind of paranoid because I just heard screaming, or like a yell on the inside. Look at this place. And the crazy thing is that these tombs are just open. Here, I'm gonna turn this off. Look. I just don't know how I feel about leaving my car up in the front. I kid you not, I just walked into this place and I'm hearing knocking. Listen. Oh my God.
What is wrong? Your feet don't work? Bro, your feet is supposed to start moving and not stop until you get back to the car, bro. What is you doing? Why is you standing there? I hate people's survival skills. I hate them.
I literally just swung. I literally just almost threw my camera at the freaking mausoleum. Before I heard the bird going, screaming, I heard what sounded like bangs coming from inside or banging on the door. I want to see if I hear it again. Birds. Unless it's a bird making a noise on the door. That sounds like knocking. So creepy. Just knowing that there's like 4 bodies in there and I'm knocking on the door is weird. Hello? Something just touched the door. Look, I cannot physically go in this room. The door is literally locked. I'm gonna put you guys to the window. Imagine you guys see a face looking back at you. Wait. Wait. I don't know what you guys see. What was that? Sounds like somebody just knocked on the casket. Hola? Hola?
Follow for more paranormal videos.
Oh God, that just gave me goosebumps.
Franco.
You need to leave the dead alone. Let them continue to rest in peace. Because if you wake them up, that's your problem now, not ours, bro. Leave them alone.
Now, an asteroid that was spotted late last year by space scientists is being carefully tracked. Scientists are trying to work out whether there's a chance of it hitting the Earth, which could happen 8 years from now. Our science editor, Rebecca Morell, is here with more details. Rebecca.
Thanks, Jane. Well, there's still a lot we need to learn about asteroid 2024 YR4. What we do know is that it's estimated to be between 40 and 90 metres, and the date it could hit is the 22nd of December 2032. Now, that chance...
Oh, now we got a date, actual date. Did they give us one before? I don't remember, but December 22nd. So 2032, we might not even get to see Christmas. Some of us may be evacuating a certain area or something like that. Do I think it's going to wipe the planet out? No. Do I think maybe a couple cities, if it land and hit the country, may be devastated really, really bad, severely? Absolutely.
Is very small. It was thought to be 1.3%, but that risk has now gone up to 2%. But scientists say, don't panic.
We talk about collision risks with these things a lot, but maybe it's better to think about the avoidance risk or the avoidance probability, and that's actually still quite high. So there's a 98% chance that this object will not hit our planet, and maybe that's what we should keep in mind.
That increase in impact risk is something that astronomers expect, and here's why. When an asteroid is first spotted, we're still learning about its orbit. The asteroid could pass through anywhere in this red zone. It's called the area of uncertainty, and it's big. Now, the Earth is in it too, but the risk of a collision is low. As we get more information, the area of uncertainty of where the asteroid might be shrinks. But now you can see that the Earth fills up more of it, so the risk increases. But as we learn even more, the area of uncertainty shrinks further, hopefully to a point where the Earth is now outside of it, so there's a zero risk of a collision. Astronomers are now trying to find out as much as they can, but time is short. The asteroid is currently moving away from the Earth, and after May, it won't be visible again until 2028. So they're using the most powerful tool they have, the James Webb Space Telescope. This will tell astronomers the precise size of the asteroid and more about its orbit. It's crucial information should we need a plan of action.
Although we may not be certain that at the moment this asteroid is going to hit, if it is going to hit, we know exactly when that will occur. And so we know what we need to do. For example, if we just want to evacuate an impact area, or in fact, if we have enough warning time, as may be the case for this one, we can actually mount a deflection mission.
NASA has already tested a deflection mission. It crashed a spacecraft into another small asteroid and successfully changed its orbit. But don't worry, we're not at that stage yet. Astronomers will continue to monitor this space rock.
I vote for a deflection mission just because I want to see it. That's mainly why I want us to do that. I want to see it. I want to see them fire something out there and knock that thing off its course. You know? Oh, my gosh, bro. If I figure out how to live stream, I might live stream that event.